I think it's the first two.
No, there's also the resource.
He's in charge of the definite maybe.
That's
part of
it.
On the first two. This is the recess meeting of the Ashland Board of Commissioners for Friday, April 23rd, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Call to order and receive and file agenda. Motion, please. All in favor? Sir, on no business.
Item A, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to submit the program year 2021 action plan for community development block grant to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and upon acceptance of said application from HUD to execute on behalf of the City of Ashland an agreement with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to enable the city to undertake those activities and/or any and all documents associated with the grant submitted.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Item B, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting the 2020 to 2024 City of Ashland Community Development Block Grant Consolidated Plan and the 2020 Action Plan for the Department of Community and Economic Development, and repealing ordinance number 47, series of 2020.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. I abstain.
I abstain. And I abstain.
Look you and me, Josh.
Still passes.
Maybe that changes mine.
Item C, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an access agreement between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and River Metals Recycling, LLC, allowing the City of Ashland.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody abstains? Just a little joke this morning, sir.
You already tested me taking my parking spot.
Item D, second, it says legal mayor commissions, right?
They're all fair game.
That's right. Item D, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Morton Salt Inc. for the purchase of approximately 750 tons treated rock salt at $90.50 per ton delivered for the Department of Public Services Division of Streets.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute broker agent placement services from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022 in the amount of $14,000 and authorizing payment of the same.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item F, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and approving change order number 3 between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Granite in Linear LLC, increasing the contract in the amount of $30,750, adding a 250 linear foot section of 24-inch sanitary sewer line between US 23 and Blackburn Avenue, 45th Street, which was determined to be in failing structural condition.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, adopting the revised job description for the position of Fleet Maintenance Solid Waste Superintendent, adopting the revised job description for the positions of Mechanic 1, 2, and 3, deleting the position of Mechanic Supervisor, adding one additional Mechanic 1, 2, and 3, all in the Department of Public Services, deleting the position of Secretary 1, 2 in the Department of Police, and adopting the amended authorized positions list of the Policies and Procedures Compensation Plan and Classification Plan, as adopted by ordinance number 51, series of 2017, as previously amended.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Energy and Environmental Cabinet, Division of Enforcement, extending certain deadlines contained in the agreed order adopted by ordinance of number 115, series of 2019.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item I, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Rumpke of Kentucky Inc. for the removal and disposition of sludge from the City of Ashland wastewater treatment plant and water treatment plant for a period of 1 year in the amount of $264,499.20 for the Department of Utilities.
Okay.
Any discussion? All favor?
Item J, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, repealing ordinance number 155, series of 2007, as amended by ordinance number 62, series of 2013, and continuing an occupational license fee to be charged to those parties who practice a business, trade, or profession within Ashland's corporate limits, including employees, setting the fee to be charged, identifying the compensation which is subject to the fee, establishing withholding, filing, and payment responsibility, providing for a net profit fee with payment and reporting responsibilities for businesses, setting forth enforcement provisions, providing for confidentiality of records filed within the city, and creating a penalty for the violation of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item K, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland, Kentucky and Guy's Flooring LLC for all labor and material for the Shelter of Hope Flooring Project in the amount of $41,870.40 for the Department of Community and Economic Development to be paid from Community Development Block Grant Funds.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item L, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky, authorizing and approving Phase 7 of the Glaylow of Ashland LLC Apartments and authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the Phase 7 approval regarding the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Section Project-Based Voucher Program for the Department of Community and Economic Development.
Well, City Manager, do we have any updates on the Broadway Square mystery alien markings?
Thanks, Mayor. Steve, Mr. Cole, could you give an update on that, please, on those markings that you found out?
Went out and looked at those yesterday after the meeting, and the markings are indicative of those used by fiber optics cable companies when they make their markings. There has been some preliminary work by a fiber optics cable company to make some installations along Winchester Avenue. However, some subsequent discussions with them and some great research work by our city attorney has identified that rather than the state of Kentucky, the city of Ashland holds the control over the areas that they were looking to make those installations. So we suggested that they look at an alternative location, and we have had discussions with KYTC, and they are in concurrence with what we have found as far as control of those areas. So that fiber company now will no longer be placing additional markings along Winchester Avenue. They'll be placing those most likely along Greenup Avenue. So you see some markings along Greenup Avenue that's related to that same project.
Well, would it be improper for me to ask what the company's name is?
Yeah.
Leadcore,
And who they are representing?
they are a contract company with middle mile infrastructure, which
Sounds like a familiar.
evidently they're kind of a regional installer of fiber optic cables all over.
Sounds like last mile maybe work. If they're in town.
Maybe. I don't know.
And they're selling fiber, or are they working for?
I'm working with the city attorney and trying to identify specifically what this company is obligated under any franchise agreements that the city might have. So
That's what I was.
we're still in process of making that determination.
Because I would just think it'd be kind of, anybody could claim that they're a fiber company and just show up and start digging up in cities, and that seems problematic. So, yeah, if you could get us a little bit more information.
Yeah, we're actively looking into it right now, but suffice it to say that the easement there is the city's, not the state's, and they were trying to do an in-run on us to the state, and the state now agrees with us that it's our easement, so.
Even more of a reason to be mindful of these markings now.
Yeah.
There may be a race to finish fiber for different companies. I know that the infrastructure's been set up.
Well, and there's
But-
all the money sitting there to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you say, or somebody said that'll wear, how quickly will that stuff wear off over there? Do we have to clean it off? I mean, that looks pretty awful. There's a lot of.
Cheryl and I could be over there with a toothbrush
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It just depends on how much rain we have.
Saturday's rain.
As it gets rain on it, it breaks down that paint.
There's a couple of weeks.
Sunshine and the rain, so yes, it will start fading here within a couple of weeks, and then eventually it'll be completely gone.
Cause it seems like I've seen that on my driveway before with the gas coming in, it stayed there forever.
Well, they try to make it permanent enough that it'll last for a long enough
Yeah.
duration so that they can plan and complete their work, but not that it'll be there for all eternity.
I just think.
So somewhere between
When they came to the big layoff back in the 90s, my dad and my brother went to work for NCI, if you remember NCI, but they were doing fiber optics for a company that wasn't NCI, but they were basically subcontracted, so they build the infrastructure for the big companies. So I don't know if that's the case
It
here.
sounds a lot like what this company's doing.
Yeah, so the network will actually be controlled by the big company. I don't know who the big company is, but they build the infrastructure for them.
We do have, if I recall, I mean, we looked at this for some other reason a year and a half ago, and we did research on the franchise agreements that we have with cable companies. And they'd come in through the years, they were done in different ways, I'm sure there was some justifiable reason they were done. As I recall, there was 4 or 5 maybe that we had, something along that line. So we need to your point, Commissioner, we need to, backpedal this up and see if they're under that umbrella of any of those. If not, then it's a different discussion.
Well, it'd be, because where I was thinking was, so we had AT&T reps here the other day, and if they're connected with them, I don't know if they are, but we got some good contacts with them that are doing the other project up in front of the planning commission.
I just think it's weird they come here and mark up our streets and make a plan without even contacting us.
I mean, I guess I didn't react as, I don't like the way it looks down there. Obviously, it looks like crap, but, I mean, we do the 811 all the time. So, before we can do a dig on the water line, everybody has to come out and mark those digs. That's why we can't immediately go into the ground on a water break. So, I agree it looks awful, and if you all are satisfied with this, we can see what the rain does this weekend. If it's not off this weekend, then we'll put assets.
Well, we'd like to
together.
have it off, I think, or maybe the roof is for first
May
Friday.
7th.
Pardon?
Today,
First
7th.
Friday.
May
Yeah.
7th.
This is a pretty fluid situation right now between the city engineer and myself working to get the answers to this, but I suspect that we'll have this resolved by the next meeting and be able to report back to you.
Who's going up 23 there, Dave?
Who's going up 23?
Yeah, who is that?
I don't know.
That's your inner liner.
That's what I thought it was.
That's your inner liner.
Are you referring down near the water treatment plant?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
That's the
that's,
sewer.
That's
that's
part
in
of
line.
our sanitary sewer lining project. And one of the items that we voted on, or that you voted on, regarding the change order with Granite Inliner. So Granite Inliner is the company performing the work there.
Well, I saw small cables going through there, so I didn't.
Well, that is a part of of this overall project.
Okay.
That's in the state, that's in the KYTC areas. But they were looking to continue on down, straight on down through the downtown area of the city. So we've been able to put brakes on that and build a wall and divert it to a different area.
Good.
Good.
Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.